Hey class, today we're going to have a look at how to use a calculator. The calculator we're looking at is a Casio FX8G83 GTX. These are things we're going to be looking at. Can we write a fraction, a mixed number, percentage? Can we do indices and roots? And then afterwards we'll put it all together. So say we wanted to find 3/8. What we would do is we would use this fraction button right here. You can do this two ways. You can press 3, fraction, and 8, and that will help you write this out. Or what we could do is we could press the button and see the boxes appear with flashing at the top. You type in 3, move down and press 8. Now it's really important that you notice this little bar is still underneath the fraction. It's still a part of the denominator. So to move to the side, I want to press right. So say if I wanted to find 5/12 of 288, of is always going to be a multiplication, so I'll multiply. I would start off with my 5, then I would press the fraction button and 12. And then as a reminder, this is still underneath here, so if I press times 288, you can see this is all a part of my denominator. I don't want to do that. So once you've done 5/12, press right, and now we can do times 288. And that gives our answer here. Fantastic. Say we wanted to add two fractions together, and start off by pressing 1 fraction 2, and then press the button right to come out from underneath the fraction, plus, and then 3 fraction 4, and I would hit equals. You can see this gives me 5/4, my answer as a fraction. What button would I press to make it a decimal answer? It's this button here, the SD button. So if I press that, that is now a decimal, and this converts between fractions and decimals. Now we can add two mixed numbers together. It's really important that you pay attention to the shift button here, because if you look just above the fraction button, you can see this little symbol here is what we want. So if we press shift and then this button, we can now put our 2 in first, our 1, and then our 4. So 2, move across, 1. You can either move across or down, and you want to put in 4. Now we move across, plus. The next one, we want to do the same thing, so press shift and this fraction button again. 3, 2, I'm going to press down, 5, and I didn't need to press right, but I did, and let's hit equals. Here's my answer, 113/20. Let's see what it is as a decimal. 5.65. So now let's see how to do percentages. What's 66%? Well, if you have a look at your calculator, you should find above ands there is a percentage button. That's the button we're looking for. Okay, so I would press 66, shift, and then this button here, and I get my percent. Hit equals, and I have an answer. If you're unsure of whether you've hit the shift button or not, please notice when I hit the shift button, a little S appears in the top left. There you go. So now when I press this button, a percentage sign occurs. Obviously I want to put numbers in front of that. There we go. So now we're looking at indices. This is 8². This one is nice and easy. You press 8, and then if you look here, you will see a squared button. 8² is appeared on the display. If I press equals, I get my answer. How about cubed? Well, that's quite straightforward as well. We can do 8 and then find this button up here, cubed, and hit equals. There you go, so we have an answer. I'm not sure why these two aren't next to each other, on top of each other, but that's the squared button and that there is the cubed button. So now we want to do 8 to the power of 6, and this is a bit of a custom indice, so we want to press 8. And then if you look right up here, we don't need to press shift. We just go X to the box, no need for shift. And that is 8 to the power of 6, hit equals. And that gives us quite a nice big number. If you wanted to, you could use this for squares and cubes as well. But you don't really need to because your squared is there and your cubed is there. How would you do a square root? Well, there's a button right here, a square root sign with a box underneath it. We want to press that, followed by 400. And if we put it in, that's our answer. There you go, 400. The root of 400 is 20. Okay, so press the root button, followed by your number, and then we just hit equals, and that should provide us with an answer. You may have encountered this little number here before the root sign. That is what we call cube root. Okay, that is what we call cube root. So to get that, what we want to do is press shift. We can see our square has appeared, and now just right here it is just the same button as a square root, but you can see the little symbol is there. We press that and it comes up with a 3, and now I can type in 216 and find out my answer is 6. We can also do the 9. You shouldn't receive anything like this in the exam, but you can even do this where instead of a 3 you have a 9, okay, and it's a root. So what we would look at doing is, if you have a look at what you have x to the power of, here you would have the to the power of the root just right there. So press shift and then this button. Now you can see a little box has appeared above, so I go 9 and press right there, 512, hit equals. There's my answer. Nice and easy, it's 2. So let's do a quick example here. If we want to do something like this, it's really important that we start off with our root, 7.84. And this is the most important bit. Now if I press plus, you can see that that little shelter has started to extend. So the whole thing is going to be square root. That's not what my question says. So when you get to the 4, press right and you can see that line gets slightly bigger. Now you want to do plus 6.5 squared and we can get an answer. And how would you find that there's a decimal? This is the button we need to press.